Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Let's do this, people. Sit back and relax. This is my pre-market report. Let's talk about some of the economic news that we just got, and it doesn't stop. It's all bad. Imagine my surprise. Imagine your shock. No. Everything. It's astonishing to me, really, to a certain degree, that all the stuff we've been covering for years is actually happening and it's getting worse. So right off the top here, and I want to hear from you. How many of you that follow this blog are in the least surprised about what you're about to hear? So the U.S. trade deficit, let's see, do you think it's getting better or do you think it's getting worse? Well, it continues to get worse. And people, let me explain this to you in case you don't know. If you're new here, there's no end in sight. This is going to get worse and worse and go on and on. Why? Because whatever this is here, yet to be defined, the prior United States of America, I don't know what this is anymore. Okay, we have devolved into whatever this is. I mean, yet to be defined. Manufacturing activity, factories, it's dead. As a matter of fact, that's what we found out over the last several days here, is how the manufacturing sector is it's just done. Factory activity, nothing going on here. We're not exporting anything because we're not making anything. Henceforth, why? You got a trade deficit getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Make this stuff up. Any of you, please. We also found this out too, that the private sector added way less jobs than they expected it to do. Imagine my shock here too. What did we just find out yesterday? I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing. The entire world economy, and you knew this from years ago, is cratering. It's just over and it's done. But we're not going into recession. Ex Janet Yellen. Janet doesn't. Recession on the horizon here. Oh, no. She doesn't see it at all. No. And she also told us that, let's see, inflation was going to be temporary. It was going to be transitory. And it was going to miraculously get better somehow. How about, let me ask you again, where's the accountability? Here we have the United States Treasury Secretary, former Fed chair, okay, Yellen. That's what she looks like to me. I don't know what it is. No accountability. None. Zero. Okay. Now, this is something else I want you to pay attention to. A lot over the last 2 days. So we have the CEO. And what do you think is really behind this? And I'm going to tell you my take in a second here. So we have the CEO of the super bank, JP Morgan, warning over and over and over and over again that this banking crisis is not over. Of course it's not over here. Okay. These smaller institutions, there are runs on these banks, okay? People are pulling their cash out, throwing their cash into the larger institutions, part of a much bigger integration process. They're calling this an integration. They can't call it a consolidation. So the catchphrase is an integration. So what we're seeing here, obviously, is an elimination here of smaller institutions and their power being consolidated in the big banks. But with regard to the big banks, who each have a direct main line to the Federal Reserve, I don't see really any trouble for the large institutions. I don't. There's going to be bailouts, more cash pumped into the system, mergers or integration between but the big institutions are going to fare very well through this, in my view. And what does that mean? As long as the Fed continues to pump this market, look what they're doing here with regard to the debt market. The MMRI this morning was 208. 208. We are 8 points into a high-risk zone. Once we hit 200 or below, risk drops in this market. Risk is dropping despite the fact that the economy is just done. I don't know another way to put it. People are getting destroyed. Real wages, are cratering. We've never seen anything like this here. People are being robbed blind via this inflation tax. And then we have the narrative from the mainstream still going forward. Oh, Are central banks going to raise rates, or are they going to keep them steady? What are they going to do? It hasn't helped a damn thing. And you and I can laugh about this because since day one, we knew this was a farce. Go back to my videos, okay? We knew, you and I, that they could raise rates from here to kingdom come. My exact words, from here to kingdom come, whenever that is, and it wouldn't do a damn thing. In fact, we covered how inflation would go higher and higher and higher with no end in sight. And that's exactly what's going on. And if you believe that this is over, that you're not going to see more inflation, especially now with crude oil getting bid higher and higher and higher, we haven't seen anything yet. It's going to waver around, but it's going up and up and up and up. You could count on crude being over $100 a barrel relatively soon, and of course that's going to create inflation everywhere, because just look this up for yourself of how many products are made with petroleum, okay, with crude oil, and forget about food inflation. I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing, people, because you haven't seen a damn thing yet. What is this all about? What's actually going on here? Okay, the people are being destroyed. It's a wipeout of an entire class of people on a worldwide scale, just as you and I have covered from years ago. The middle class is becoming extinct. They're going the way of the dodo bird here. Okay, extreme haves, extreme have-nots. And in my view, okay, we could sit here and blab about this all day long. What are you going to do about it is the real question here. Okay, it's a very simple equation. If you and I realize that the issue of inflation is going to get worse, and at one point, I don't care what they're doing to the global debt market right now, people, I've used this exact words, a Herculean effort right now is going on to foster the illusion of stability in the debt market. Central banks working overtime to keep rates suppressed. How do they do this? They can't just say it. It just doesn't happen on its own, okay? This is direct intervention. How many of you remember me telling you from, I don't know, several months ago that without direct intervention, it's exactly what I said, what we covered right here, central banks directly acting in the debt market to keep rates suppressed, this whole thing would be over. Well, if you don't see what's going on, I mean, this is direct intervention on an interplanetary scale here, okay? Unbelievable amounts of cash being pumped into the debt market to keep rates suppressed. And what is that doing? Lowering risk in the market. Look, at one point, all of this is going to change. It's just so obvious to me and should be obvious to you. There's going to be a snapback here. All the cash that's being pumped into the debt market right now to foster the illusion of stability, which is completely false, to create, or at least try to create, this environment of risk where cash is going to make its way into the stock market. Although, what did we find out? Was it yesterday? I think it was. We have the big investment banks saying, hey, you know what, people are pulling their cash out of the market right now in record numbers. That does not mean, people, okay, listen to Greg Mannarino here for a nanosecond, that this market is going to fall anytime soon. Generally, the crowd is wrong. When you have a situation where people are pulling their cash out of the market here, and I believe we're starting to see, maybe we're in the very early stages. We watched this market give back a little yesterday. Maybe we're going to give back some today. I don't know. But I think this market needs to fall here. But if they can, again, let's just think for a moment. You and I, we have more than one functioning brain cell. If, in fact, the illusion is maintained of stability in the debt market, if, in fact, they can push the MMRI, free to you, free to everybody, link in the description of this video, if they can push it lower into a so-called moderate risk environment, where do you think stocks are going? You think they're going lower? Do you think there is any connection at all between the economy and the market? No, this gap is going to get worse, as you and I have talked about for freaking years. Let's look over here at the stock market this morning. Stock futures are slightly in the red. Nothing major going on here at all. 10-year yield lower. A lot of effort going in here, people, to keep that rate low. You got the relative strength of the dollar slightly lower. The MMRI, as I said, around 208 right now. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be surprised at all to see this drop below 200, probably in short order. Okay, so keep your eyes on the MMRI. Best risk indicator for this market ever been conceived in the history of the world, in my view. But that's just me. Okay. Gold and silver. Gold doing okay this morning. Silver under a little pressure. Cryptocurrency is getting a bit higher. Crude oil under a little pressure after this extraordinary run-up that we've had lately, and we're not done. We're not done. Are we going to get a little pullback, and then there's more cash going to go into energy? Absolutely. Look, don't listen to Greg Mannarino. Turn on Fox Business, Bloomberg, CNBC. They're floating out creature after creature after creature. Oh, yes, energy. Energy is where to be. Commodities are where to be, too. Don't listen to me. Listen to Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers, famed investor, saying the same thing. Okay? I don't know if Jim follows this blog, probably not, but he sounds a hell of a lot like Greg Mannarino. All right, people, as always, okay, we got this covered. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they throw at us. We will have a counter strategy. The greatest counter strategy, in my view, is betting against the debt. Becoming your own central bank. Holding physical silver, my favorite asset of all time. Gold, my second favorite. Commodities in aggregate, people. You know what to do. Okay, you need exposure to commodities here. You can do this multiple ways. You can hold them in your hand, as I like to do. Okay, you can gain exposure by owning an exchange-traded fund. I put out at least 2 lists of exchange-traded funds. In fact, just yesterday in my free newsletter, I hope you subscribe to that, link in the description of this video, I told you exactly what you should be looking at and why. So if you don't subscribe to my free newsletter, you're missing out on a whole bunch here, people, honestly. What else can I tell you, people? Just prepare yourself in every way you can think about, okay? Mentally, physically, spiritually, for what is coming here. This whole illusion is going to get real. This thing around us yet to be defined is an illusion. Nothing is what it seems to be at all. You understand? When you can see through the nonsense, the distractions, the look here's and the don't looks over there's, everything will become clear to you. Until that point, everything is going to seem very distorted to you. But just push it all aside. Focus on what's going on. We know who the enemy is, central banks. We know what they're trying to achieve, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. They're going out of their way to create inflation, not do a damn thing to stop it. They're going out of their way to create distortions across the spectrum of asset classes. Price action, there's no price discovery here anymore. The market is a freak show on an unprecedented scale. I think we all know that, but we know what to do about it. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. All right, people, I'm going to end this video. I will see all of you later for my live stream. I will be on live later on with Kate Daly. I'll see if I can get a link to that. I'll put it out in my newsletter later on. But I will see all of you for my live stream, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please join in on that. We're starting to get a pretty good following with it. We cover all kinds of things. And again, have questions for me. Hey, Greg, what about this? Greg, what about that? That's the main reason for the live stream, so we can interact. I don't want to sit here and just blab and blab and blab and blab. Okay, I blab enough. I want this to be an interactive thing for us. You understand? I want us all to gain a better insight and perspective as to what's going on and what we can do about it. We're taking action, you and me, okay? This is a channel for people of action, not people who are going to sit back like a blob somewhere and do nothing. You understand? We need to take action. We need to grow this channel as well, and that's where you come in, all right? Please share this stuff. Get it out there. And I want to thank all of you again for your support. You know how this works. The beginning of every month, I ask for your support, just $5. And for those of you that stepped up and support this blog, I greatly appreciate that, honestly. That's it, all right? I'll see all of you later. I'm out here.